Beyblade has always been about strategy, creativity, and outsmarting your opponent. But over the years, the competitive scene has seen some wild changes in its formats. Take the Metal Fight Limited format, where only certain Beyblade parts from the first two seasons of Beyblade were allowed. Or the Metal Fight 4D format, which opened the gates to parts from the 4D series and earlier. And then there's the Metal Fight Standard format, the ultimate battlefield where every single part from the Metal Fight and Zero G series was fair game. That was until one part, the most infamous piece of Beyblade history, was slapped with a ban clause. Why? While it was only used in a single combo, that combo was so overpowered that it dominated the entire meta. The infamous part that I'm talking about is called Rubber Defense Flat, specifically paired with the combo Wiving Dragoon Boost Disc 145. And in this video, we're going to go over how this combo dominated competitive Beyblade, broke the balance scale of Beyblade, and how its ban changed the format forever. Before diving into the details and history of this combo, let's first break down the combo itself. Besides the baseball, this combo consisted of 4 parts that utilized the Synchrome system. This meant that it had 2 metal wheels called the Warrior Wheels, which both served a unique purpose. The top layer was called Dragoon. Dragoon's purpose was to specifically turn this Beyblade's spin rotation to the left, which was a rare spin direction in competitive, as Dragoon was the only Warrior Wheel that can spin to the left. Now, under the Dragoon layer was the Wiving Warrior Wheel. Wiving is an S+ tier attack wheel and also the heaviest warrior wheel, and it served one purpose, which was to maximize its own attack stat. If you look closely onto its wheel, it has this one protrusion that sticks out that specifically gives it incredible smash attacks. Now for the spin track, we have Boost Disc 145. Boost Disc 145 is also a S+ tier spin track, as not only was it one of the heaviest spin tracks, it provided this huge circular shape that provided your Beyblade a huge amount of natural defense. With how big this spin track was and the smoothness of the outer ring, it basically added another contact layer of plastic onto your Beyblade that made it hard for your opponent to get under your Beyblade, as well as knocking it out overall. Finally, let's break down the design of Rubber Defense Flat, a tip engineered to blend both defense and attack into one single package. This tip features a wide plastic casing that houses a smaller than average flat rubber tip. But most importantly, the plastic casing also enhances its life after death, allowing it to maintain its balance towards the last few seconds of its spin duration. Meanwhile, the rubber flat portion gives it a good controlled movement as well as an increase in defense. Now, combining all of these high tier parts together as well as a metal stone faceball results in a combo that weighs over 77 grams, making it not only a powerhouse but also one of the priciest setups you can build. To put it together from scratch, you need to spend over $200 on second-hand parts, but if you're after brand new components, the Wiving set alone can cost over $600, which is a hefty price for dominance. Now, before we move on to the next segment, let me tell you about the #1 place to get authentic Metal Fight Beyblades. This is Bayhaven. Bayhaven specializes in secondhand authentic Metal Fight Beyblades back from 2010. We have all types of Metal Fight Beyblades from Season 1 to Season 3, as well as a section to build your own Beyblades and or to buy parts separately. We restock every Friday at 12 AM, as well as have a section for extremely discounted Beyblades called Deals of the Week. We are also currently running a Thanksgiving promotion where every item in the store is 20% off until the night of November 28th. Be also sure to check out the shop on Black Friday for a super sale as well. Now back to Wiving Dragoon. It's no exaggeration to say that this combo shattered the balance scale of Beyblade, but how exactly did it manage to do that? You see, Beyblade has this system where it basically utilizes a rock paper scissors system with its typing. Attack beats stamina, stamina beats defense, and defense beats attack. But in the center, there's another typing called balance. Balance types typically consist of 2 of the 3 typings, but usually at a weaker form. Wiving Dragoon does not belong here because if you try to look for Wiving Dragoon, it's over here in its own category. It has everything because it kind of cheats the system. So what makes Wyving Dragoon so unique and Metal Standard? Let's dive deeper into how this combo plays out in the trinity of Beyblade typings as well as the meta around it. Starting off with defense types, the top tier defensive combos in this format typically had a chunk of stamina mixed into it. For instance, take this top tier defensive combo Jirago Jirago Elevator 230 Metal Ball. This combo dominated in the defensive field and would never get knocked out by Wyving Dragoon. But Wyving Dragoon would just use its left spinning capability to destabilize it and outspin it. This was the case for most defense types, as they typically had bad balance and were overall really weak against left spinning Beyblade. As for stamina types, you typically see combos built to last such as Duo Sickness Bearing Drive or Genbul Genbul a 90 Eternal White Defense. All stamina types typically had one issue to them, which was being light in weight. The Duo Sickness combo would weigh around 50 grams, while the Genbul Genbul combo would hover around 67 grams. And it being a stamina type, its defense wasn't that great to begin with. This made it easy for Wyving Dragoon to knock them out most of the time. But in the chances that it wasn't able to KO its opponent, it would easily go back to relying on its spin stealing, which either led to 3 scenarios, one being Wyving Dragoon winning the stamina battle, 2 being the opponent winning the stamina battle, or number 3, which 50% of the time would just end in a draw. And if a match did end in a draw, it would have to be replayed, which again allows Wyving Dragoon a chance to knock out its opponent or back to the 3 scenarios. And in this case, Wyving Dragoon has a 3-1 winning situation. Now, attack would probably be the best typing to win against this combo, although it would be difficult to do since Wyving Dragoon is extremely heavy and was also supported by the defensive BD-145 spin track and RDF tip. It also doesn't help that the heavier a Beyblade is, the more effective a defensive rubber tip becomes. Attack is probably the best option if you want to flip a matchup, as long as you can capitalize on the strongest advantage of attack types, which are the first 3 seconds after launch. Beyblades like Flash Aquario Rubber Flat or Bigardos Rubber Flat could always get a lucky hit to secure the win. But if they couldn't pull it off, Wyving Dragoon would either knock them out or back to outspinning them. And that's the power of Wyving Dragoon. It wasn't just another combo, it was a disruptor that forced every other type to adapt or fall behind. Whether it was destabilizing defense types, outlasting stamina types, or withstanding the sheer force of attack types, Wyving Dragoon had an answer for everything. A lot of people were frustrated going up against Wyving Dragoon because it felt like the best chance to beat it was to just match it with your own Wyving Dragoon and hope you win the flip. This was heavily felt by many members of the WBO that they eventually had to take action. In June 2023, Rubber Defense Flat was slapped with a ban clause. This meant organizers had the power to ban Rubber Defense Flat in their tournaments that they hosted. And ban away they did. Lots of tournaments popped up specifically without Rubber Defense Flat, and the meta changed completely. Suddenly, people didn't have to worry about this combo anymore, as without Rubber Defense Flat, Wyving Dragoon suddenly lost its identity. It no longer had the defensive strength to withstand attacks while knocking out opponents, as well as being able to outspin them all at the same time. Wyving Dragoon was dead, and new combos began to take its place. More often now, there was more creativity in combos as they had to fill in the black hole that Wyving Dragoon left. More pure attack combos were in play. Stamina combos were only scared of actual attack combos, and defense combos had its identity back. It felt like the trinity of Beyblade typings were back in place, and balance was restored. And that's the story of Wyving Dragoon, a Beyblade in a format where everything is allowed, had to have a part that was banned because it was just too strong. Anyways, thank you for watching this video. I know this video is slightly different than what I typically do, but I just love yapping about Beyblade, so let me know if you guys like this type of style, the editing, because I'm always willing to do this again.